Ross for his report.
Good morning. For the final time as your president, and on behalf of the entire University of North Carolina, I want to thank each of the members of the Board of Governors for your ongoing commitment of time and energy to the service of this university. I also would like to thank all of you for the very nice reception that you hosted for Susan and me last night. It was really nice to be with you and to be with all of the previous members who were able to attend, and I appreciate personally your inviting them to be a part of the event. As I always have, I want to also recognize our chancellors, most of whom are here today, and the leaders of our affiliate organizations who are also here with us. As I've noted many times, I believe this is as fine and dedicated a group of chancellors and leaders as you will find anywhere in America. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve alongside of each one of them. Even though I have visited all of our campuses many times during my tenure and many times before during my life as a North Carolinian, I continue to be amazed at the caliber of our students and faculty, and I am enormously proud of the great things that are happening across the UNC system each and every day. It reaffirms my strong belief that the University of North Carolina is the best university system in this nation. I don't have time today to acknowledge all of the recent milestones and achievements because, with your permission, I want to reserve a little time for some personal reflections. But there are a few things I do want to mention. As reported yesterday in the Ed Planning Committee meeting, faculty researchers across the UNC system brought in $1.36 billion in external competitive research grants and contracts in the fiscal year 2015. This is a new system record. This marks a 34% increase over the last 10 years, a period during which the national competition for grant funding has increased significantly. As in past years, about 2/3 of the total dollars came from federal sources. And while UNC Chapel Hill and NC State still account for a very high percentage of total grant awards, 12 UNC campuses reported increases in external grant awards last year. Why does this matter? It matters because the grants and contracts won by our outstanding faculty on our campuses support more than 22,000 jobs in counties all across this state. In addition, over the past 4 years, these grants and contracts have generated $43 million in license income, 100 new startup companies, and 2,000 invention disclosures. But as important as research may be to business and to our state's citizens, it is important to remember that research is even more important as a teaching tool. Today's research is an integral part of teaching both at the undergraduate and graduate levels. Let me cite two items that help explain what has made this record-breaking year possible. According to the National Science Foundation, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill has climbed to 8th nationally among research institutions in overall research and development expenditures, and to 6th in the nation in federal R&D spending. These rankings capture both public and private institutions. So this is all of the research institutions in the entire nation. And Chapel Hill ranks 6th in federal funding and 8th in overall R&D expenditures. That is remarkable. This is the second year in a row that UNC Chapel Hill has cracked the top 10 in both categories. And I congratulate Chancellor Folt and all of her great faculty members for the work that they've done that have led to these rankings. In fiscal year 2014, UNC Chapel Hill recorded $990 million of expenditures of R&D activity of all types. This remarkable achievement reflects the competitive strength, creativity, and impact of outstanding faculty, staff, and students who contribute to the research enterprise. This most recent success is a direct result of the university's ability to leverage state dollars with private support and other resources to attract competitive federal grant funding to North Carolina. Secondly, last month, the Strategic Directions Committee was briefed on advances in pharmacoengineering being made possible by our ROI initiative. Earlier this week, it was announced that working together, researchers at NC State University and UNC Chapel Hill have now developed a new drug delivery technique that uses biodegradable liquid metal to target cancer cells. Thus far, this liquid metal delivery method has only been tested in animal models, but early results suggest that it has low toxicity and has extremely exciting potential to boost the effect of cancer drugs. The research dollars that our universities bring into our state give us a true competitive advantage nationally and internationally. This is a fact that each of us need to remember, and we need to help others understand. Chancellor Hal Martin, who is here and about to stand up, has been named to the 2015 Ebony Power 100 list. This list recognizes, and I quote, those who lead, inspire, and demonstrate through their individual talents the very best in Black America, close quote. I completely agree. I know of almost no one that I've had the privilege to work with who does more to lead and inspire and demonstrate through individual talent. Harold, congratulations to you. In my view, you're one of the best in America. Omar Ali, Interim Dean of the Honors College and Associate Professor of Comparative African Diaspora History at UNCG, has been named North Carolina's 2015 Professor of the Year by the Council for the Advancement and Support of Education, CASE, and the Carnegie Foundation for Advancement of Teaching. If you caught The Wiz live on NBC last week, you saw the work of UNC School of the Arts Design and Production alumnus Paul Tazwell, who designed the costumes for The Wiz. UNC Wilmington has earned an 8th place ranking on the Education Trust list of 4-year public institutions in America that have made the most impressive gains in graduation rates. According to the Trust, UNC Wilmington improved 6-year graduation rates among underrepresented minorities by 14.3% over the 10-year period studied from 2003 to 2013, and narrowed the gap between white and minority students during the same period by 7.3%. Over the decade, UNC Wilmington's overall graduation rate improved by 7.4%. Later today, Western Carolina University will announce that a group of alumni employed by Dixon Hughes Goodman, a public accounting agency headquartered in Charlotte, have pledged $1 million to the university's accountancy program. UNC Rex Healthcare in Raleigh, which is owned by UNC Healthcare, is the only North Carolina hospital that made the Leapfrogs Group 2015 list of the 98 top hospitals in the nation. Leapfrog ranks hospitals by patient safety, infection rates, preventable errors, hospital readmissions, and other measures. The organization assessed more than 1,600 hospitals in developing its rankings of the top 98. No hospital from North Carolina made this list last year. And finally, the Z. Smith Reynolds Foundation has awarded a grant of $225,000 to advance our work with the North Carolina New Teachers Support Program. This grant will assist high-priority, low-performing school districts in funding the shared district cost of per-teacher support needed for participation in the program. It is definitely a win-win. Beginning teachers in some of North Carolina's most challenged school districts will now be served, and the new teachers support program can be expanded to additional schools across the state. In that vein, the Center for Digital Education has named our Vice President, Elisa Chapman, to its 2015 Top 30 list of technologists, transformers, and trailblazers. Winners represent thought leaders and innovators throughout higher education, K-12, and the education nonprofit community. Elisa was recognized for her leadership and insistence on the use of research and data to inform efforts to improve the quality and retention of public school teachers and leaders throughout the state. The award citation also highlighted the recent launch of the UNC Educator Quality Dashboard. Congratulations to Elisa. And Lynn Sanders was named the 2015 recipient of the North Carolina Internal Audit Award for Excellence. Congratulations to you, Lynn. Since this marks my last report to this board, as I indicated, I would ask for a few moments of personal privilege and reflection. As most of you know, I've had the good fortune to spend my entire life in this great state, and most every day of my professional career in one way or another in the service of the people of North Carolina. Certainly without question, leading one of the nation's top public universities, the University of North Carolina, has been a true highlight in my career and life. I have been blessed and privileged to follow in the footsteps of this university's giants, leaders such as Bill Friday, Dick Spangler, Molly Broad, and Erskine Bowles, each of whom made vast contributions to our university and helped move the entire system forward. I've also followed others who came before them, such as Bill Aycock, Dick Phillips, and the legendary Frank Porter Graham, who led the first multi-campus university out of the depths of the Great Depression and then through World War II, and who is regarded by many as the best leader in our university's distinguished history. Over the past 5 years, with the board's active involvement, and I do mean active, and with the help of a remarkable team of senior administrators and dedicated, hardworking staff who love this university, we have sought to translate the strength embodied in UNC's long history into the capacity to help North Carolina meet the challenges of a very different future. That work has been supported and in many cases carried entirely by our truly amazing faculty across our 17 campuses who teach and mentor our 226,000 students. Our accomplishments have been team achievements, and there have been many. In accepting the call to serve as UNC president, I said there was no institution more important to North Carolina and to the future of this state than the University of North Carolina. I still believe this is true without reservation. In my inaugural address, I highlighted several critical, important issues that were well aligned with the priorities later adopted by the Board of Governors in our 5-year strategic plan. Chief among them were raising educational access and attainment, strengthening academic quality, serving the communities and people of North Carolina, maximizing efficiencies, and ensuring an accessible and financially stable university. Despite challenging economic times and constrained resources, we've made considerable headway in implementing key elements of that plan and in keeping our compact with the people of this state. Helping more North Carolinians attain college degrees, thanks to expanded online offerings, our revised comprehensive articulation agreement with the North Carolina Community College System, and our new reverse transfer program that has thus far, in its pilot phase, enabled more than 1,400 transfer students to earn their associate's degree while working toward their 4-year degree. We've become a national leader in helping veterans and other military affiliated students further their education. Witness the announcement yesterday of UNCBOG. Becoming more efficient and doing our part to conserve energy and water and other natural resources, and thus avoiding hundreds of millions of dollars in utility costs. We've developed comprehensive public dashboards, the first in our system, to keep us transparent and accountable and to track key academic and operational metrics. And we've helped improve North Carolina's health, economy, and quality of life through targeted scientific research, outreach, and community engagement. In collaboration with the community colleges, the private colleges, and universities, we also commissioned the first statewide analysis of the economic impact of higher education in North Carolina, affirming once again that UNC is a critical part of the talent production and the key economic driver for our state's economy, and represents more than 6% of the entire state's GDP. We also explored ways that we might make our campuses safer through the UNC Campus Security Initiative, a difficult and growing challenge in today's world, and I thank each of you for making the tough decision to support the campus security fee so that we can do what is right by our law enforcement officers in terms of training, support, and compensation. These accomplishments could not have happened without strong leadership on our campuses. And I am enormously proud of the team of chancellors that we now have in place. I'm pleased to have been able to recommend the chancellors of 11 UNC institutions for election by the Board of Governors. And I am grateful for the support I received from those who were already in office when I arrived. I will always be thankful to our chancellors for their support, advice, and friendship. Please continue, I repeat, please continue to recognize how very important each of them are to the success of our universities in our state. Our 17 campuses, which vary widely in mission, size, and history, truly represent a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. Despite the financial constraints and other challenges we faced in recent years, the UNC system today is strong and well positioned for an even greater future. I am proud of the university, which I will soon leave, and all that we have accomplished together. Whatever lies ahead, I urge you to never permit this magnificent state asset, this treasure that truly belongs to the people of North Carolina, to be diminished. As the governing body of our public university, the University of the People, you have a solemn fiduciary responsibility to help preserve, strengthen, and advocate for it. I urge you to do what is right, to do what is best for the university, no matter the consequences. Our students, parents, and alumni, our state's leaders, and the people of North Carolina demand no less and deserve no less. As my tenure draws to a close, I want each of you to know that I have no regrets for having accepted the challenges this role has provided. And I do not look back and ask what might have been. Instead, I count my blessings and I express my appreciation for the opportunities this role has provided to me. In addition to our exceptional staff, world-class faculty, and sensational chancellors and senior administrators on our campuses, I have been able to work alongside one of the most remarkably talented group of staff ever assembled at General Administration. This great university couldn't function and thrive without their dedication and commitment, and I will always be grateful for their support and hard work. I could name many, but I do have to mention my senior executive team: Charlie Perouse, Tom Shanahan, Junius Gonzalez, Matthew Raskoff, and the best chief of staff ever invented, Kevin Fitzgerald. I also have to publicly thank Joni Worthington for laboring so hard for so long to try to make me articulate and to try to cover up my mishaps. I owe a particular debt of thanks and deep gratitude to my executive assistants, Celeste Parrish, now retired, and Nell Smith, for their patience, good humor, and long hours. As I leave this position, I pledge to you that I will always put the university first. And that begins by doing all in my power to ensure the success of President-elect Spellings. Our university, again, deserves no less. I am certain that she will receive the same level of support that I have from our team here at General Administration, from the chancellors, and from their teams. She will need the full and unconditional support of this Board of Governors as well. Finally, I conclude by saying, with all the passion I can muster, that I simply cannot express my gratitude and deep appreciation for the honor and privilege of serving as the 5th president of the University of North Carolina, the finest public university in America. That concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
I'm on that committee with Mr. Long, and I would just...
There is a copy of this resolution in your packet. Whereas Thomas Warren Ross has served since January 2011 as the 17th president of the University of North Carolina, the first public university in America to open its doors to students. Whereas throughout his 5-year tenure, he has advanced the university's efforts to contribute to the common good, to produce talent, and develop leaders for communities all across North Carolina, and to serve those communities in ways that enhance the quality of life for the people who live in them. Whereas he has helped build a strong and capable cadre of system leaders, recommending the chancellors of 11 UNC institutions for election by the Board of Governors, and whereas he has helped maneuver the university through very challenging economic times, Warren Ross be designated and known as President Emeritus of the University of North Carolina. This the 11th day of December 2015. Mr. Chairman, this is the resolution before you today.
Thank you, Hannah. Mr. Chairman?
I'd like to move,
Opposed, like sign. The motion carries. Thank you very much, Hannah. At this point, I'd like to recognize Zach King, our student representative, for a presentation.
President Ross.
Let's get over here, let's do it. Okay, here we go. How about that? That was his high school portrait that the guy just put some gray hair on. I don't believe that.
You just frosted it like I do now.
I know. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you all very much.
Pearl Burris Floyd, Ms. McNeil, Ms. Nelson, Mr. Parrish, Dr. Perry, Mr. Sloan, Ms. Wiley, and myself. And I thank each one of them for their willingness to serve. So I would now entertain a motion to establish this committee.
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Thank you. Any discussion? This committee will be extremely important in working through the transition period with President-elect Spellings. And although it's not going to let anybody else off the hook, we're all going to be doing that during the next few months. If there's no further discussion, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Thank you. The motion carries. I do have only one announcement at this point, and that is that the next meeting of the Board of Governors is scheduled for Friday, January 22nd, 2016, on the campus of North Carolina A&T State University. So Harold, get ready. Okay. Yes, I'm going to ask Brent to advise you as to how we should proceed from here. Thank you, Brent.
So when we go into closed session, what we would ask is that,
If you want me to call him, I'll call him for you.
Waiting for them to give me the okay. Received brief updates from both Academic Affairs and Human Resources. President for Academic Affairs is the interim president of the university. Dr. Gonzalez would serve in this capacity effective January 4th, 2016, until the president-elect assumes office. Excuse me. During this time, it is important to have an interim president in place to lead and oversee the administrative and executive functions of the university that are within the authority of the president. The appointment of an interim president will assure a period of seamless transition between the departure of the current president and the assumption of this office by the president-elect. For this additional responsibility, Dr. Gonzalez will receive a monthly excuse me, $15,000 stipend in addition to his regular salary. The stipend shall end upon completion of this service. On behalf of the Personnel and Tenure Committee, I recommend that the Board of Governors approve the appointment of Dr. Junius Gonzalez as the interim president of the University of North Carolina, effective June 4th, 2016. January 4th, 2016, excuse me, until such time as the president-elect assumes office, and that he receive a stipend of $15,000 per month during this limited, approximate 2 months interim appointment.
Thank you very much, GA. You've heard the motion. Is there any discussion? Yes, Mr. Long.
I just want to point out to the board that the amount of the stipend is consistent with past practice. We did ask that for the committee. Actually, it's less than what would be provided under the past practice, based on the salary of the person you're replacing is basically what it's tied to. But that is Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in, oh, Zach, I'm sorry.
I just want to make a brief comment. I said this in the personnel and tenure.
Discussion. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Bissett. This concludes my remarks.
Thank you, GA. I would like to just indicate that we have a
With the university policy manual and applicable statutes and rules. As you know, the board's election procedures describe the steps for nominations and elections for all board offices. The board's procedures provide for a nominating process and elections using written ballots.
Winston Lewis Bissett, Jr.
Didn't have to be that formal.
That was quick. I was going to
Nominating myself. Madam Chair, I would move that we elect Drew Bissett as chairman of the governor by acclamation.
As it appears that unless there are any other nominations,
I move the nominations be closed.
Second.
well, in that case, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Then as it appears that Mr. Bissett is the only nominee, I will entertain a motion to suspend the requirements of Part 4 of the elections procedure and elect Mr. Bissett chairman of the board.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Then by unanimous vote, Mr. Bissett, you are our new chair. The gavel is yours.
Thank you very much. I really want to thank all of you for all of the help and support that you've given to me over the last approximately 6 weeks. You know, it's a mind-bending thing to fall into this job as acting chairman, I can tell you, and I don't think I really could have done it without all of the help and the phone calls and, well, maybe not all of the phone calls, but a lot of the phone calls. Also, I appreciate your confidence in me as your chairman going forward, and I can assure you that I'll do everything possible to live up to your expectations. I believe that the next 6 months will be crucial to the future success of our university. First of all, the successful transition of the presidency from Tom Ross to Margaret Spellings is crucial, and it will take a significant effort on the part of all of us to make that happen. We have an incredible asset in our new president, and it is up to us to convince all of the university's constituencies of the fact that her success will mean success for all of us, whether you're faculty, students, staff, alumni, legislators, and more importantly, the people of the state of North Carolina. Also of historic importance to the university is the successful passage of the North Carolina Connect bond referendum in March. Just remember how much the 2000 bond issue meant to our system. NC Connect will mean just as much, if not more, to all of us at the university and our state. And it's incumbent on all of us to get out in our communities and spread the word. Finally, I've asked Tom Shanahan and his staff to scour the Constitution and the statutes of the state of North Carolina, as well as our own board policies. And he has reported back to me that they can find nothing in the law that says that service on the UNC Board of Governors cannot be a rich, rewarding, and enjoyable experience. In addition, he tells me that there is actually nothing in there that prohibits board members from actually having some fun at this job from time to time as we work together in the coming months to make our board a more cohesive and effective entity. I hope all of you and your families have a wonderful Christmas and a happy holiday season. And I'll see you back here in January, and let's be ready to roll. Thank you very much.